Okay, so we're going to build the wireless style display. It's an 80-piece combo. So first we're going to take the cabinet top and we're going to start putting all the sides onto it. And as you can see, there's wooden dowels and they just fit into the holes. And just tap it into place with a rubber mallet. Or a hammer and a book if you don't have a rubber mallet. That'll work too. Okay, now that all four sides are on, we'll take this corner cap extrusion, and you'll see the grooves here and the way that this is made, and just slide that into the grooves and push it down so it fits like that. And do that to all four sides. Okay, so once you have all the corner extrusions on, then you're going to take the cabinet base and you're going to put it on top of this. This is the bottom of the base. You'll see the four holes in the corners here. That's the top. So just set that on top and then line up the holes with the dowels and then tap it down. And then we'll take the wood screw that's provided, and you'll have 4 of those, and screw those down. And then lastly, we have the propel nuts and the levelers to go on, and they'll go into these 4 holes on the corners. And you can tap those in with a hammer. And then screw your levelers in. Make sure your levelers are level before you put on the top. It'll just make it easier. So let's flip this over, and now we're going to focus more on the top of the display. Okay, so now we're going to pay more attention to the display top, and we need to put the Lazy Susan on. So this is the bottom of the display base. This is the top of it. So we want to make sure that's flipped over, and we're going to attach the Lazy Susan via these 4 holes here. Within the Lazy Susan, you'll see that this hole here, it's an access hole. We need to line that up with this access hole. And then we'll screw it down using these number 10 5x8 screws. Okay. And now we're going to have to attach the extrusions. Okay, so these are the screw bosses in which you're going to screw into to put the extrusions onto the top. You're going to use the 6x2 sheet metal screw and then insert it into the screw boss on the bottom of the extrusion. And you'll need 2 of those screws per extrusion. And then tighten them down. And do that for all 4 sides. Alright, now the extrusions are on. we can put the display top onto the base. So now with the access hole, you're going to be able to find the pilot holes that are drilled into the cabinet top that you want to place your screws into to attach the Lazy Susan. And then use those same 10 by 5/8 screws to tighten it down. One trick is don't tighten the first screw down all the way. So that way you can turn to the next hole and then lift up a little bit to find the next hole. So that way your Lazy Susan moves with it. And then the rest of the holes should line up. Don't forget to tighten that first screw that you did. Okay. Okay, so now lift the display and put it onto the ground. And you'll use this cap to cover up the hole for the Lazy Susan. Just like that. And then we've got these wires as center supports for the display. And they just slide into the crimps that are made into the extrusions. Put them diagonally. Just like that. Now what we'll do is we'll just slide the pegboard into place. And now we can put the top of the display onto it. And using those same 2 by 6 inch screws, you're going to line up the screw bosses with the holes and then screw down. And I just put all the screws in at one time. Makes it a little bit easier, and then tighten them down. Okay, so we're going to put in the PETG panel. This is my sample piece, so we're just going to build this with this, so that way your stuff is still good. So make sure to peel off the blue film off the front of this so that your silver shows. And then we're going to insert the edge of this into the rail. Now inside the rail, as you can see, there's 2 little slots there. You want to put it in the slot that's closest to the outside of the display. So we're going to slide that in like so, and then we're going to bend the panel into place and make sure that it goes into the right slot. Just like that. So that's how that's put in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put on the fins, much like this. So you're going to take your fin, and you need to peel off the plastic off of this as well. There's a protective coat on the side that doesn't have the silver screen printing. So just peel that off. And then slide that into the rail between the pegboard and the rail. And then we're going to take one of our finishing washers and this Christmas tree, and we're just going to insert this into the pegboard, and that will keep the fin from coming out. So do that on the top and also on the bottom. Like that. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the mirrors into place. Now there's a film on this as well to try and keep it protected. And if you just peel down to here, we'll be able to slide it into the top, and then you can move it around without fear of the mirror getting dirty or scratching. So we also have this double-sided tape that we're going to stick to the back of the mirror. Just make sure it's centered and towards the bottom. Peel off both sides. And then you'll see the slot in the top of the display. Slide the mirror into that slot, making sure that it's centered onto the rail, and then just press down to make sure that it sticks. Okay. And now we can put in our headers. Shady Deal, of course, goes over the glasses. And just make sure that that fits into the same slot as well, and then you'll have this nice seam. And then the wireless style will go into the front slot of the extrusion above the pegboard. If you don't get it into the front slot, you'll see what happens. It just bows out. There we go. And now we have a flat seam here too. And then the last step is just putting on the nose pieces. And it's very simple. They're shaped just like this, so it's a keyhole slot. You push it into the panel, like so, and then just push it down. And that'll keep it in place. And there you go.